Hi guys, Ben here from 100 and another podcast. So one of the questions I'm asked a lot and links to not only my main business but also where I am in my own training journey is whether or not I, one, have a coach, and two, whether I think that people actually need a coach. And my answer is very much dependent on the individual. I don't think there's a one fit answer or one fit solution to everyone, as we're so very different and our starting points are very different, and the way that we see the world as individuals is equally different. So to answer that question, I think is highly personable and something that only the individual can really see, or whether they can actually really see the need and the desires. And when I think of the word coach or coaching, I don't necessarily mean even a two-way conversation, because there's so many fantastic resources available both online and in physical format that a coach can be a mentor, a inspiration, or the motivation to improve, develop, change, adapt, self-reflect, and even meditate. For me, coaching is not necessarily always getting information or knowledge or a better knowledge, but it's about bringing home the truths, about bringing that hidden perception of the outside world to something that's more aligned and attuned to what's going on in the internal world for you. It's about realizing a route and a strategy whereby you can see the wood through the trees, or realize that dream, that aspiration, uncovering those aspects of your life that you wouldn't be able to achieve, particularly if you were to go at it alone. So do we need a coach? I think all of us need coaches, whether those people are aware of them being a coach or not. Now, if we were to look at the fitness world, then again, it depends specifically on your training, where you're going, what your aspirations are, and how you're starting out. For example, it was only 4 months ago now that I couldn't swim front crawl for more than 4 lengths without becoming out of breath. And I hired a coach, swim coach, someone with a greater and better knowledge. And from that, now I can swim uninterrupted for around about 3,000 meters. That's within a 4-month period. Now, without that coach, without that guidance, you could say that I wouldn't have progressed at a better or as refined as if I was to attempt to do it on my own. But that's not to say that it wouldn't have happened or couldn't happen. Coaching is more about self-reflection and honesty over our own abilities, rather than this needs or desires to ask for help. So do we need a coach? I think so. I think that each of us could ultimately benefit from an element of guidance, an element of improvement in all 3 aspects of our life: the mindful well-being, the nutritional aspect, and then the physical, the fitness. And I would always recommend to someone starting beyond their goals and dreams in the next lifetime, working their way backwards to the present moment. And what I find is that helps with any kind of coaching choices. It helps in the approach that you take towards who is probably the best or the most suited to coach you. Those of you that are aware of my main coaching practice are aware that my approach is slightly more hard-hitting than the conventional therapist, in that I am more than happy for people to release emotions, to move on with aspects of their life that aren't supporting them, rather than some of the most conventional modern therapies in which they want you to revisit that event time and time again. Now, I believe there's space for that, for reflecting on the past, but not revisiting or holding on to it. Growth doesn't come from revisiting pain. Growth comes from learning, adapting, and evolving from that place. So my methods in a mindful aspect aren't the most conventional, but they seem to achieve results a lot faster and a lot more aligned with an individual's desires and wishes than some of the other therapies that I've seen out there. And the same can be said with fitness, as I said. If you're looking beyond that lifetime and working backwards, the choice over coach then becomes no longer a financial decision or a geographic decision, but then becomes something that supports a lifetime's of value, a lifetime of knowledge. And of course, that may change And in doing so, the choices that you make about coaches and mentors and inspirers will also change. And that's where you become adapted and flexible in your approach to your journey, your path, your personal mission. And as I said, it also comes down to you as an individual. If you're someone that works better through accountability, through being overseen by somebody else, then a coach may be something that is required for the immediate term until you get into the rhythm and the flow of gauging what was missing and the reasons why you're unable to hold yourself accountable. For me, the role of a coach is not to keep you and drip feeding information to you, but to give you all of the information you need to then go out, inspire, do and achieve on your own, to share the knowledge with another, so they no longer become dependent, but become accountable by their own strength, their own mindful choices. So that was just something that I thought of earlier, and it was a question that was asked to me just the other day while at the gym. People ask how you are and if you're on track, and then reply with a comment or continue to say, I'm not sure how you do it. Well, we all have the ability to do. We all have the ability to coach ourselves. I think it's more about being honest with the reflection, about being honest with the answers that we're feeding ourselves and then acting upon that. I think that's where sometimes the desire to be coached comes in. So if you're thinking about coaching, my recommendation would be to first analyze what you're looking to gain from a coach, whether it's experience, knowledge, or accountability. Then go beyond this lifetime and work backwards and ask yourself if you're going to act upon that advice, knowledge, and accountability long term, and see what your life might look like, both with coaching now and the advice that is given, and then without, and then making the choice over whether it's something that you want to commit to moving forward. So that's it from me and this podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how you're getting on, and I look forward to catching up with you on our next podcast. For now, peace out, be safe.